Hey everyone, welcome to the Rise and Above podcast, a platform for you to share your story. Oftentimes, we all have something that happens to us in life and we have no way of sharing. Many people want an outlet, whether it's writing a book or going on a massive networking platform or starting an inspirational social media account. With the Rise and Above platform, anyone with an inspiring, motivating, or interesting story can come on and share. It could be anything from the struggles of starting a business, the struggles of overcoming homelessness or mental illness. I've interviewed victims of rape, sexual assault, and abuse. There is no subject that is off limits. This platform offers a safe and fun way for you to share your story through a one-on-one experience. If you would like to share your story, the best way to reach out would be through social media. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook or through email. All the links will be provided in the show notes. Thank you for listening. Welcome to the Rise and Above podcast. I'm David Huss, and I actually have a repeat guest on today. His name is Jeremy Hurt, and I guess he has some big news to share with us, but we're just going to kind of see how things have been going. So with that being said, how are you doing today, Jeremy?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
It's a pretty nice day out for a bike ride, right?
Not bad. It's
cool.
One of the better ones, yes.
Yeah, it's cool weather.
Yes. You know, especially compared to last week, with all that rain we got.
Yeah, we were actually supposed to do this last week.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
and then we're like, no, there's too much rain. So
yeah, it was. I had a couple of deliveries for Sultan's Express downtown, and within minutes I was pretty much soaked. I had a poncho and stuff, but nothing sufficient enough apparently. So I got home and put on some dry clothes and just went online and Googled waterproof everything.
So when the weather's bad like that, what do you do? Obviously you delivered some, but do you just think like, oh, I'm just gonna have an easy day today? I might do a couple deliveries and then call it a day. What do you do?
Pray that not a lot comes up. But it's the rain doesn't bother me. Unless, once it gets to that cold, like fall rain, it could be a little rough. But yeah, I think it seems that a lot of the people that order through me like tend to know that I ride a bike, and because I heard a couple people last year say that they felt bad, because it was raining or something, so they didn't want to order. And I'm like thinking about making money. I'm like, I don't care. Like. I started this. I asked for it, so.
I was telling my wife last Saturday at the event that we were all at about you saying how you had to go order a bunch of waterproof gear and stuff, and I was like, typically like when it's storming, that's when I don't want to go out. That's when I typically order in, and so I think I would order from you because knowing that that I'm supporting a local business. And I'd probably tip you pretty good knowing that you had to ride in the rain to get to my house and deliver my food.
Yeah. And I got a insulated bag and stuff, so none of the food gets wet, which is, obviously a plus. So
yeah.
So I definitely took that into consideration.
I seen something that you delivered some pretty big pizzas too. How do you do that?
That was like a let's hope I got the right stuff to make this work kind of situation. It was we were having the graduation party for the One and All program that I was in, and Jerry at the Fledge wanted to order some pizzas from Tormino's, and they got those huge 24-inch pizzas, and apparently my idea of 24 inches was way off because I was like, oh, I can get it. It'll be fine. I had my trailer, but I knew it was going to be too small, but I figured with a bungee cord it would be fine. So they sent me off with twine, and I just had to make it work. And I'm just wrapping it around and crisscrossing it. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was the guy that was cooking it was actually really helpful because I guess he's typically the delivery driver. So he's wait about 5 minutes for the cheese to cool down so it doesn't slide off. I'm like, that is fantastic.
How far was that delivery?
Oh God, like half a mile maybe.
Oh, okay.
It was, yeah, not far at all.
So still warm by the time it got. Did you have to stick it in an insulating bag or anything?
No,
It
I don't.
wouldn't fit.
No, no. I would have to make something like special for that, custom. So yeah, it wasn't far. That's one of the reasons that I took the chance. But I was definitely like, looking back the whole time, staring over my shoulder.
Now a couple of questions I've actually gotten about your services is, do you make good money doing it? Because people are like, it's just him, right? And I'm like, yeah. And like, how could he make, like, does he make a living actually doing this?
That's the plan. I have other sources of income that I'm working on for the business.
Okay.
That would be much more lucrative. One of them is being selling digital ad space. So I would have a LED screen on the either attached to a trailer or whatever I'm hauling for that, and then you sell like 8 second 20-second ads for businesses or whoever wants to advertise on there, and then yeah, so it's like you can do monthly or yearly kind of subscription things, and there's a huge market for it. I know, especially like the dispensaries, they can only advertise, I believe, on billboards. I do think I saw an ad online the other day, which was kind of surprising, but
Wow.
typically it's been just on billboards, which this is technically a billboard. It's just
Right. Is it a mobile
digital,
one?
yes, yeah,
Mobile digital.
right,
That's cool.
yeah.
So you said you were looking into that. It's not something you actually have done or gotten into the steps of doing.
I've talked to the company that does it. The software is called Scoop.
Okay.
They used to do like these pedicabs in East Lansing
Okay.
that were free, and then they had the screens, and they sold the ad space so they could give people the rides for free. So they ended up selling off their fleet of pedicabs, and then just focusing on the software part of the business. So I've been in pretty constant contact with him
Cool.
about everything. It's just it's just money at some point.
Right.
Those screens they're expensive.
How expensive are they?
Let's see. I think the one is like, I'm trying to think of the measurements. It's like probably like 40 inches, and it's $5,000 or no, $3,000. $3,000. Sorry.
Holy cow.
Still, yeah. And then
And it's pretty lucrative, you said, so you can make decent money doing it.
yeah.
So
yeah.
you'd make your money back pretty quick.
Yeah, fairly quick actually. You can, I mean, it's crazy. I don't even know how it works, but like the amount you pay like Scoop for the subscription to their like software is like a fraction of what you can charge for like one ad. So
Wow.
yeah.
Now, this isn't something that you could just do on your own, like talk to local businesses and like offer to put a sign on the side of your trailer or something for like a sponsorship type thing.
I mean, I could definitely do that, like just like an old school like flag or
Right.
I know a lot of people use like yard signs, stuff
Right.
like that, whatever works. Yeah, I could definitely do that. This is like I don't know, the future of it, I
Right.
guess.
Okay.
Based on like what I've read online and stuff, and some studies that have been done, it's actually like people recall the ads way more when it's something like that, and they're much more interactive, and it's just it gets the shopper engaged way more. So
It kind of makes it look better too. Like as far as like if you have a yard sign attached to your bike, it kind of looks ghetto, right?
a little bit, yeah.
Like especially if you have like a couple pizzas twined onto your bike with a yard sign.
Right? Not the best look.
So I also found out that after I had you on that you deliver a lot for Abundance Cafe. Is there other businesses that you deliver like that on a regular basis?
Sultan's downtown, Sultan's Express. I'm there pretty much every day. They call me whenever someone calls there to get a delivery. And it's funny too because I watch like Uber and like Grub Hub and those people come in and get deliveries, and I'm just thinking to myself, man, these people are wasting so much money. Like they could be saving so much money if they just knew like to call the restaurant instead of going on the app. So
Now, the last time you were on, we also talked about an app, and you said it's ridiculously expensive. Have you made any headway on that at all?
a little bit. There's a friend of mine that's working on a project where it's like a kind of central hub to find like to you businesses. So like if you needed to get your hair cut and you couldn't leave, or you needed to get your car
Oh.
cleaned and stuff like that. So it would be all in one spot, and like the goal is like, so like somebody goes down there to have someone get their car cleaned and come to them, right? But then they see all these other options of stuff that's available,
Okay.
so they don't ever have to leave their house again.
Right.
But he's working on an app for that, and I'm working pretty close with him. So
Cool.
yeah,
That's really cool. Now, do you have a website at all?
that is under construction as well.
Okay.
So I tried doing it on my own, and someone told me that WordPress was a
Mhm.
good.
I have WordPress for the podcast, and I don't use it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have it. It's there if you want to go to it, but
right.
it's in the ether somewhere.
Okay, but you built it.
I built it my own. Yeah, on my
Yeah.
own. It's easy,
Yeah.
super easy to do, but I don't know. I mean, it's not like an official website,
Mm.
and I feel like, I mean, now I'm kind of at the point where I think I should probably get a website, like an official one, and then
Right.
I think you definitely should have one. And I think you could do a lot of things on a website, right? That you could do like on an app.
I believe
Right.
so. Yeah.
Like you could have like a mobile like map on there so people can kind of locate you and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I could take payments.
Right.
All that kind of stuff. I could post the restaurant's menus and stuff so they could see them right there. So yeah, it would definitely be, but all that stuff is like beyond my, understanding.
Right.
I built one on Wix years ago,
Okay.
and that was pretty simple with like the templates and just kind of
Mm-hmm.
putting stuff in, and but like I don't know how to do it so like the mobile like looks good too, and the
Right.
the laptop or the desktop, and then like like setting up an e-commerce and all that stuff is I some of it is pretty easy to figure out, but some of it's like no. No.
And then you also have social media, right? Like I can't talk again. This has been like an issue every single day when I do a podcast. I'm like, I can't talk. I get tongue twisted and crap. But you're pretty active on social media on your Red Bike delivery pages and whatnot, right?
Yeah, I try to be. For some reason, it's not. I don't know, man. I need like that would be like great to have somebody running my social media. That and an accountant are like my two first.
Yeah.
Two first like hires, I guess, or whatever.
I for sure would need an accountant.
Yeah. I just don't even want to mess with it. I just
Right.
rather. There's just too much stuff to worry about.
Right.
So yeah, I try to stay mainly Facebook is what the platform that I am the most familiar with and comfortable with and use
Right.
most. Instagram, I don't know, I just never got I have an Instagram page, I just never.
Instagram's weird
Yeah.
because it's not like one of those things that everybody's on, as far as
Right.
like our local community and whatnot. Because I have obviously Instagram too, but it seems like it's harder to get followers and to get people kind of engaged because you can just scroll and look at pictures and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. And like even when I do post something on there that gets, my like max 23 likes or whatever, it's like random people that I have no idea where they are, who they
Right.
are, because you put all those hashtags on there.
Yeah.
I don't even know like how. I'm still trying to figure out how all those work. There's just like especially with like marketing, like there's so much to like. You're supposed to put so many, and then have like they're supposed to be in like a certain range of like how many posts are on that hashtag and
Really?
stuff like that. Yeah, like you don't want the super popular ones because
Right.
they get bogged down, and So you want like something in between like the 100,000 or whatever, not like
Right.
2 million. So
That's something I've been trying to do on, I guess on every platform that I have, like YouTube even. I'll put hashtag Rising Above Podcast because I'm trying to own that hashtag.
mm-hmm.
So whenever I post an episode, it's always hashtag Rising Above Podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, and nobody has it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's that's awesome.
Yeah.
Surprisingly awesome.
Yeah, I know.
I was pretty sure that Red Bike Delivery was gonna be free. I think one of my friends used it before I got to like actually do it, but like whatever.
You just steal it from them.
Yeah, that's the goal. I don't even think they probably would remember, but yeah, it's finding a website and like getting my domain name and stuff like that was all pretty. I had tons of options. So
right. Now, did you form the business as like an LLC?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I just and it's really simple. Like if somebody's, thinking about starting a business, like get an LLC. It's $50 and it's 5 questions that are, answered for you basically. So it's
Okay.
it's a really simple process. Now obviously there's like more complicated stuff that you could have a lawyer for, and
Right.
like your what is it, articles of incorporation or whatever, stuff like that. That I would definitely want a lawyer for, but the basic thing just to be like registered in the state and stuff like that is super simple.
I've considered starting this podcast as a formal business, just because I buy equipment for it, and it'd be nice to be able to write stuff off, and I use the space. That's another thing I could write off, whatever. So I've considered that. How many deliveries do you do a week?
So like usually on Tuesdays with Abundance Cafe, I probably do, like yesterday I had, or not yesterday, this week I had 10, and then but like some weeks it'll be 5, and then Sultans will be 2, 3, 4 a day, and then like any random like calls that I get and stuff like that. So I don't know, like let's say 35, but I don't really do much on the weekends either. So
Okay.
that's just like the weekdays, like because I'm so close to downtown and that's been like a focus, and they're shut down like over the weekends.
Right.
So
Yeah. You can kind of make your own hours too, right?
Yeah. I'm basically just on call all day long. Like somebody could literally call me right now and want an order, and I'd
You'd be like, I gotta go.
Yeah. Show's over, guys.
That's funny. So I don't know if you want to share your news yet. What you got going on?
That so it actually it doesn't have anything to do with the business. It's actually a venture with the art and my poetry.
Great job, by the way, the other day.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always. It was a weird set. Like it's weird not being on a stage, like on the same level as everybody else, because you're used to being elevated.
It doesn't separate you from them.
Right. Yeah. I can't be superior to that. Listen to me. But I was approached by Kathleen Edgerly, who she was president of Downtown Lansing Incorporated, about doing a project where at first what she was thinking was it was like stencils, and then like poems that we would put throughout the city, like on the sidewalks.
Oh wow.
And then so that was like yesterday morning. We had that discussion, and then we talked again later that evening, and it turned into we're gonna get some shit etched into sidewalks. So
wow.
I'm putting together like 3 more poets, and then so like we'll have our names in the sidewalks with our poetry, which is like it's surreal. Really, it's like
that's super cool.
They've done it before, like 3 years ago. They had 8 poets that have poems spread out throughout the city.
Wow.
So
where at?
There's one at the Fish Ladder. There's one in front of the Blue Owl in Rio Town.
Okay.
There's one on the east side somewhere. I can't remember where that one is, but like they're kind of spread out like that, and so like each poem fits to the area that it's engraved in. So
That's cool.
yeah.
So are you going to specifically write a poem like based on the area that you're going to etch yours in?
I'm going to rework a poem
Okay.
a little bit because I have one that I feel is pretty fitting for my experience with Lansing
Okay.
and leading up to it. So I'm probably just gonna do that because she wants it done in like 3 weeks.
Oh, talk about putting you on the spot.
So last night I'm just like texting people like because she didn't even know the company that did the etching.
Oh, wow.
So like we're figuring everything out. So I was just like threw out a bunch of lines to people and I figured it out this morning. So
Wow.
yeah.
So what's your process when you're writing poetry? And how long have you been writing poetry?
I've been writing for let's see, probably like 11 years now.
Okay.
Not as long. I didn't really. I wrote like before that, but it wasn't anything like I was trying to write songs and stuff like that, not really
Right.
poetry. Because I don't know, I thought it was cool to write songs. That was way cooler.
Did you put a beat to it and everything?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then so like yeah, I didn't really write much poetry or anything throughout high school, and then I pretty much started writing a lot more as I got older, and just had free time or was in jail, was trying to pass some time and stuff like that. There's a lot of time to pass in there, so
It's probably a good way to pass it too.
yeah.
Just write.
Yes, absolutely. Reading and writing, it's
Listening to your poetry the other day, it seemed like you write about a lot of things that happen in like whether it's like politics or locally or maybe the way you perceive things going on. Would you accurately describe that way?
Yeah.
It's not like love, like not necessarily love poem type.
Yeah, there's one or two of those.
Yeah.
I a lot of it is about the addiction and the struggles that that lie in there. And a lot of times, like I'll refer to like it'll sound like it's a poem to a woman, but it's really like about the drugs. So because it was literally like the longest relationship I've ever had.
Right.
Which was like a really weird, hard realization. Ugh. It's abusive relationships, man. They're tough to get out of.
So, what is your process when you're writing? How do you get inspired? Do you see something? Maybe thoughts come to your mind. How do you get inspired from?
Usually, I like stare at a wall for like 2 hours.
Wow.
It's just whatever I can do to procrastinate, like anything. It's pretty much. I do a lot of doom scrolling, and no, it's sometimes it's just a word, like I have one poem that I was looking into the word kismet, which is just another word for fate. So I wanted to make one where I used just all the different synonyms of like fate that I could fit in there. So, and like if it's not that, like then it could be like one of the ones that I read at the event was about how like the government controls things and stuff like that, and how we're still slaves to whatever it is that they create. And
that one was pretty powerful.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that one?
God, I was just like thinking about like the amount of time that we spend in front of screens, and how people are so influenced by these actors and movies and stuff that aren't even real, that are, they're scripted. Like, they make them however they want to, and that's unfortunately not how life works.
Right.
So, and then it just kind of like snowballed from there into like, us still being like, this is just a free range prison, really. And that was like one of my I love that when I came up with it. There's like certain lines that I come up with and I'm like, damn,
that one's
like,
a killer.
I don't even know where it came from, but yeah. And the funny thing is too is like, there's like my favorites and then there's everybody else's favorites, which are never my favorites. Someone always like some other line.
When you were reading that though, I was like, dang, I can feel that. Like there's some certain things, like when somebody raps a good song or like sings a good song or reads poetry and you have this like you get chills. That poem gave me chills because I'm like, it was like a realization of like, yeah, we are controlled by social media, our screens. Everybody's opinions are based off of what they see on Facebook or a news bite, that they may see. And instead of doing research for themselves, they just kind of let everybody else dictate their opinions.
Yeah. Yeah. And like,
especially now more than ever.
Yeah. It's way more than it's I don't even know like how it got that bad, that fat. Like, no. It's like we just woke up one day and all of a sudden everything's a lie. Like, all right, you can't trust anybody, not even professionals that have studied their whole lives for things.
It's because everybody has their own agendas.
Well, yeah, exactly. And like, the whole like even the research. Like I did my research. Like, no, you looked at a YouTube video that like you wanted to see.
Right.
And like, I wouldn't even know how to research this stuff. Like, that's why I trust people that went to school for it and dedicated their lives and their research.
Right. Yeah, you have to listen to the experts.
Yeah. Like, so I'm working on something new that I'm writing, and it's, obviously influenced by this. And, like, part of it is talking about how, like, when I was 5, I got a chicken pox. And my mom took me to the doctor. He said, you got the chicken pox, and wrote a prescription. We went and got it, and I took it. Nobody questioned anything. Like, what happened to that?
Right.
Like, no, we didn't know what was in that either.
Right.
But we knew that this doctor was somebody that wanted to see me get better, right? Like, that's his job. That's what he, went to school for. That's his passion. So we trust that he will do that. And it's crazy how it's just all gone away like that. And like, yeah.
And it's like that in all directions too. Like for instance, my son who's in preschool, got sent home one day. Was it last week? I think it was last week. Yeah, it was last week. So he got sent home because he had a headache and they thought he was running a temperature. And he's 4, mind you, so he doesn't really know what a headache is. But, he might have a headache.
Right,
sure. Right. So they take his temperature at school, and they're like, he's running a fever. They run around outside all freaking day. He doesn't drink water like he's supposed to because he hates water. But the only thing he can drink at school is water, so he doesn't drink. So we have to go pick him up. We get up there like literally 5 minutes after they called. Take his temperature? No fever. I'm like, okay. And he's just running around like nothing happened. So they're like, yeah, he can't come back until because they're like, that's a sign of COVID. So they're like, he has to be out 10 days. And I'm like, okay, well, what if we get him COVID tested? Can he come back like if it's not COVID? And they're like, yeah, get him COVID tested and then we'll, you have him come back. So we get him tested right away. The test comes back negative. We send him to school. And then they're like, we want to see proof of that. Like, why? Like, we wouldn't send him to school. You sent him home. Right. I get it. I do. But at the same time, it's like, this is kind of extreme in both directions, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I saw a...
Like, we never did this with, like, other things.
Right.
This is the only thing, I think, in modern day history where we've become so, I don't know, hypersensitive about,
everything.
And about everything.
Yeah, and I think, a lot of that you can credit to Trump. And like when him and his cabinet first started the whole alternative truth thing, I was like, this is bad. This is gonna be, because I knew he was setting it up so like he could, do whatever because he put doubt in everybody's mind about everything, and it was just propaganda is crazy.
Yeah, but in the same token, it is also shown from like Russian troll farms, running social media accounts. They dictate, or they not dictate. They put propaganda out on social media so that it causes ruckus amongst right wing people and left wing people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Trump definitely exacerbated all of that.
Sure. Yeah, and I'm not saying like anybody else like it's not 100% anybody's fault. Like there's a whole bunch of players in the.
Yeah, absolutely.
But and it's
That's why I think like podcasts are a good thing, because then, I mean, like you have your own views. Like I had Claretta on the other day, and she has her own views. Like regardless of her views, like I'm not gonna sit here and debate her.
Sure.
I want her to express who she is and what she believes in, and then people can see her for who she is, and then base their own opinions off of that.
Yeah, I think I might have to debate her.
What don't you agree with?
Oh, no, I actually haven't heard much of her stances on anything.
Okay.
I just saw she posted something.
Should I host a debate on here?
That would be awesome.
I don't want to be a part of it, but I will host it.
You just give the space. That's it.
Yeah.
That would be pretty dope. But she posted something about why are we spending all this money and time and stuff trying to rebuild downtown? When like and I do believe like I get like the South Side is neglected. Like
right.
I think it's and it's that's Andy and their thing. But like I work like I work in downtown. I'm pretty closely involved with like a lot of things that happen down there. So obviously I'm gonna be, and she probably has the same kind of relationship with the South Side, you know. So that's like.
Well, I think she lives on the South Side. She doesn't have a lot of money, so she's coming from an underprivileged community. I agree with her to a certain point. Like she was on the podcast, and it's not out yet, but it will be tomorrow. And one thing she said on the podcast was that she doesn't like to see these big businesses come in and start up here because they bring people from wherever they're from, and they don't really hire locally and whatnot. Because I was like, I think it's a good thing that these businesses are coming here because it creates jobs, it creates opportunity. It's good for Lansing as a whole, generally.
Right.
And so I kind of get where she's at because she wants to see more local businesses, maybe like a red bike delivery service on the South Side or whatever, you know. But at the same time, I think in order to grow Lansing as a big infrastructure, we need some of these big businesses as well.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of balance there.
And I think downtown we need to have growth downtown.
Yeah, I think most major cities are pretty much, judged by their downtown area. Like the restaurants and the shopping and stuff like that, and one of the things like that she mentioned in her post was like about how it like shuts down at 4, but like let's change that then. Like it doesn't have to. Like there's things that we can do, and I think that they're doing a lot of things, and but it's tough. It's tough.
It's a sticky subject because, I mean, for like, if you want to grow the South Side, but you want it to be like local stuff, then people from the South Side need to step up, right? And they need to start like a red bike delivery service or start their own business. But at the same time, do they have the resources to do that?
Right.
Do they need help? Like, is there something in play to help the people there?
I'm not in a large scale. There might be some small like things. I know like the one and all program is like you have to be under the Alice threshold or whatever. So it's definitely for people that are underprivileged. But like other than that, I mean, it's tough. It really is. And I even, I'm a white male, so I have, like the easier road.
Right.
Then and it's still tough for me. So I can only imagine, you know.
You're literally peddling for money.
Yeah. Right.
You should have that as your slogan.
Right. It's not a bad one. I'm thinking about like putting a bunch of T-shirts together with like random like just silly slogans and stuff like that.
That'd be cool.
Mm.
That would be cool.
One, the one is it's not like I don't know, it's not family friendly, so I'd have to like keep it in like head shops or something. But like one is like when you once you go red, you'll get fed. Like just like stupid. Or we put the D in delivery. Just stupid.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I think they'd be fun. I think, it seems like those shirts tend to do pretty well,
Yeah.
If it's some kind of catchy little slogan. Or
I would wear it, and I'd wear it on the podcast too.
Nice. Nice. I was thinking about like there was like those T-shirts back in the day. I think they were like called like Big Johnson or something.
Okay.
Like they were like the craziest shirts, and I was wearing them in like middle school, and there was no reason I should have been wearing these shirts, but like everybody was.
Oh my gosh.
It was like that, and like No Fear was really big too. That was another like clothing fad, and then like Calvin pissing on the Ford or Chevy. Like what? I saw something about that the other day. Someone was like explaining Calvin and Hobbes basically.
Oh.
And then they're like, and then there's America. He's like, I wanted to pee on things. I was dying. Like, why?
Oh, that's hilarious. Another example, I was telling my wife about like kind of a bigger business that made I think in my opinion made the south side of Lansing look better was Solden's. Solden's, they opened up at that old grocery store. What grocery store was it before?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with.
Oh, okay. So it's on the corner of MLK and Jolly.
Mm-hmm.
There was an old rundown grocery store that closed down a few years back, and they renovated it. And it was before it kind of looked like a place where I wouldn't want to pull in. Like I'd be a little worried. But now like it looks like somewhere like it looks like a nice place, and I think they've done a good job at kind of turning that around. So I think it is important to have some of these bigger businesses come to Lansing.
Is Solden's like a chain, like corporate, like?
I'm not sure. It might be like Michigan owned or something.
Okay.
I know they have quite a few stores in the mid-Michigan area.
Gotcha.
So there's like one in Charlotte, there's like 4 in Lansing.
Oh.
Like one in Okemos, and yeah, there's quite a few. So I'm not sure where they're all located, but.
Is the one on the south side like the bigger of the like?
It's
ones?
huge.
Yeah, I've seen the building, like but I've never been in there.
Okay. Yeah, it was literally like a grocery store, and they turned it into. I need to go in there, but they had one right up the street from there, and it was small, and they closed. I think they closed it down and moved, but.
Okay.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. I haven't had any pets in a while or anything, so like I just haven't had a reason to go in there. Like I've been into Pruce with friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is cool because there's all the fish tanks.
Yeah, I like Pruce's, but we were just in there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool family too. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool local spot.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's nowhere, like they don't have one anywhere else, right? It's just here in Lansing.
Yeah, just this one. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a marker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they got that cool like, what is it, the statue or whatever from the what is it, not when they do like the junk.
Oh,
what are those? What is that event called? You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Somebody's gonna be watching this like yelling at the screen, "You idiot!
Fucking moron!"
It's like,
how can you be from Lansing?
that would be yeah, right. That would be good. Like you start going live so you can get those comments.
I want to. I need to figure it out. I tried for Sarah Pierce's episode, but then I haven't tried since.
Yeah, I caught the first like half of her.
Okay.
Her I met Sarah God, probably 2 or 3 years ago now.
Okay.
And like it was at one of those like networking events and
Yeah.
stuff, and I had already like I was already a member of the 517 Living page and stuff, so I knew who she was. But like you said, like I tried to look on her social media to see who she was, and like there's nothing.
There's nothing. No.
Like, I'm quite impressed actually, because like to have like I've seen one picture of her, and I think it was from her sister's page, like
Wow.
that she got caught in.
It's kind of funny because isn't that like the typical thing to do is like you go like if you're interested in knowing who somebody is, you go to their Facebook page or you go to their social media accounts
Right.
to see who they are.
Yeah.
It's kind of stalkerish, right?
I mean, like, but everybody does it.
Everybody
so,
does it.
like,
Everybody's afraid to admit to it.
right. I know. I said something like, I was talking to another business owner. She was at the event, the 1991.
Oh, okay.
Because I'd seen that she had signed up with DoorDash to do deliveries for her plants, and I offered her the opportunity to save some money and
Yeah.
work with me, and which is in the works. So
Cool.
but like, so I was on her business page, and I saw that like she had garage sales and stuff for like the plants, and the address was like right down the street from my house.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, I think we're neighbors, and then I was like, oh shit, should I have said like,
That's okay. I don't think she cares because she like that night found me on Instagram, and I'm like, I don't really advertise my Instagram other than on the podcast, like on the like maybe in the show notes. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like she found me and started following me.
Yeah,
So
yeah. No, she was like, "Hi, neighbor." So
that's cool. She's a super cool girl. I don't remember her name though.
Hillary,
Okay.
I believe.
She's actually supposed to come on the podcast too. She signed up at the event, and
Nice.
yeah, I have a slew of people wanting to come on. I think I have like 9 or 10 people from that event alone.
Nice.
So I'll be busy for a while.
Yeah, I made a couple good contacts there too. For
Okay.
just people interested in what I do. So
How many of those events do you go to?
I guess it depends on like well, so like since I started this, I've been to not a ton, like a handful. Because well, number one, like I don't really have a product to sell, so like
Right.
I can't justify spending like over $50 to just I mean it's good to get out and get the contacts and get the exposure and stuff like that, but
Right.
the point of those is usually to sell something and make your money back, right? So I don't do a ton, but I like to be involved in whatever goes on. So like there's another one, a Southside thing coming up that I'll be like helping get vendors for and stuff
cool.
like that. And yeah, it's I used to be on the board with Art Space, which was that's what they did. They did like pop up vending.
Okay.
So they would put them together, and like they would. It was like $20 to set up a table. Like they never. It wasn't to make money. It was to help people get their product out there, and so I still have all those contacts and stuff like that. So yeah, when things come up, sometimes I get asked to help, and I don't know how to say no to those things. So I'm like, I've gotten better though. Like I'll ask what it entails before I say yes, because like sometimes I've spent like my whole life with no like set schedule or plans or anything, So like it was like, hey, what are you doing Saturday? I'm like, whatever we want to do. Like, let's go. Like I never had to worry about like checking a calendar or like making sure that I had time to do something.
Right.
Because if I wasn't at work, I didn't have anything to do. So like getting used to that, like, oh, I have appointments and I have, these things going on has been an interesting transition.
Do you find that it's easy to have hold accountability to yourself?
I wish it was. I should be better.
Yeah.
Because I think I tend to, and then like if I don't, hold myself accountable and like not miss something, but like maybe not do it to the best of my ability or something like that, then I just beat myself up. So like it's counterproductive for sure. But I can only do that for so long before I just go crazy. So I got to either stop or just check myself into a loony bin or something. Cause those are the only two options at this point.
Now, do you have any long-term goals as far as the red bike delivery? Because eventually you're going to get old, right?
Yeah.
Your knees might not work. Like, what's your plans?
Um, yeah. First of all, I gotta say I was in a meeting online last night, a Zoom meeting, and it's a very broad age group, and one of the I think he was about 70, was saying something about like so good like seeing the younger people here, and I was like, I always get so confused now when people like that say younger people because I don't know where I'm at. Like, am I still one of the younger people? I mean, yes, I'm younger, but like, am I considered like the young crowd?
Right.
Because I don't like the grays are like coming in pretty hard, and it's getting a little more obvious. But so yeah, that was just a funny story that I had to throw in there from yesterday. But what was the question?
I was saying, I asked you what your plans were, like,
Oh yeah.
because eventually you're gonna get old.
Yes.
And you're gonna fall apart.
Right.
You're just gonna go to like a moped, maybe.
I mean that's not a bad idea.
Electric moped.
Right. Yeah. As long as it's green, like
Would you consider buying a Tesla or like a electric vehicle?
Yeah. I think they still got a little ways to go as far as the production and stuff like that, and their what they're capable of. But I know one of my friends on Facebook just bought one, and he's raving about it. So I don't know. Like they're expensive. So like if that's even an option, I'll know I'm doing pretty damn good. So like I guess one of my goals is then to buy a Tesla for red bike delivery because that means I'm going somewhere. But like so my 1 year goal was to have 5 restaurants that I work with. I think I have 4.
Oh.
And like it's like one's can't open, so like
what restaurant can't open?
It's a new restaurant called it's right there by the stadium, by the
Lansing
Loveman's.
Brewing Company?
No, it's on Michigan.
Oh, the sidecar
slider bar. Yeah. So
I was wondering what was going on with that place.
They can't hire anybody. I went and talked to him, and we're all set up. Like he's gonna use my services once he opens, but he said like, and this was over a month ago. He had 20 interviews scheduled or something like that, 20 or 25, and 5 people showed up.
Oh my gosh!
So, and he hired 4 of them, but like. You can't run a restaurant on 4 people.
No, you can't.
So, yeah, I told him to keep me updated, and I haven't got any updates, and it's not like I drive by there, often. So
yeah,
I haven't seen any progress.
What do you think is going to happen with all this? I mean, because there's a lot of restaurants that are. I mean, literally almost every business has a sign out front now hiring, pay daily, whatever.
Right.
What do you think is going to happen? Something. It has to come to a head, right? At some point.
Right. Yeah. It absolutely does. I was just reading something about the trade flow, like all the people like that run the ships and the the planes and the trucks and stuff that get everything where it needs to go. Like they're crashing because they're shorthanded, and they're all they've all been busting their ass because they're all essential employees.
Right.
So they didn't get any breaks, and yeah, it looks like and I think most of us knew that this was far from over, and it's going to be far from over, even if you can go outside or places without a mask and everybody's vaccinated. Then you have to deal with all the repercussions of everything that happened. But I know that. And another article I was reading said that 75%, I believe, of restaurant owners said it's worse now than it was 3 months ago. Wow. So, yeah. So they're still struggling.
And it's only going to get worse.
I think so, unfortunately.
I was reading an article because I work for GM and we're laid off right now, but we're actually going back on Monday. So, an article I was reading was saying that our local industries, like local businesses here in Lansing, are suffering because we're laid off because GM's such a big part of the local infrastructure. People aren't going out and spending money because they're not making any money, really.
Right.
So it's hopefully it doesn't have a long lasting effect on our local economy, but
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's like yeah, just the ramifications, like, and it's all, nobody knows what it's gonna be. That's like the scary part is like it's just gonna happen.
yeah,
And we're just gonna have to deal with it. So
yeah,
uh,
gotta figure it out and adapt.
right.
It's all about adapting.
And I mean, human beings are pretty good at adapting. So like,
Yeah.
and that's one of the things like I was trying to focus on when the pandemic started and when everybody was freaking out. Like, could you really, like, we were like 2 months into it and everybody's like, I can't take this shit anymore. Like, here we are, like 18 months later, like still doing it. So
Yeah.
like, you can do it. Like, we'll make it.
Yeah.
It sucks, but like, we're pretty resilient as a people.
Well, and that's one thing I talked about a lot on the podcast is because I've had people on, I think including yourself, that started a business during the pandemic, right? You
Yeah.
started during the pandemic.
Yep.
And I think that was a pushing point for a lot of people is they're like, okay, I hate my life. I hate the job I'm at. I'm laid off, or I'm possibly not going back. Who knows when I'm going to go back? I think I'm going to do my own thing now.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, people are pretty good at adjusting and figuring out a new path. So hopefully we can figure our way out,
Yeah. Yeah, there'll be a lot of small businesses to support. So
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I would love it like if there was an option to get some of the things that I have to go to Amazon to get. Like, I don't, I'd much rather spend my money here, but like, I can't get certain things, like not even like ordered from places because
Right.
they just don't have the capabilities or the
Yeah.
stock or surplus or whatever. So yeah, to see like more like specialized stores, but there has to be the demand.
Right.
So
I definitely think there's a demand, but I think the convenience of Amazon is greater. I mean, like if you had to ride your bike to a store to buy waterproof gear, which I'm sure you could do, right? At certain stores.
yeah,
Or you could just sit in your living room and get on Amazon and it'll be here tomorrow.
right. That's another thing too is like how quick they get stuff to you.
Yeah, it's insane.
They're building a hub in Michigan, like somewhere in Michigan.
They're building a factory here or some sort of warehouse on the west side.
Okay, it's in Lansing?
Yeah, at least that's what I heard.
Okay, yeah, I think I heard that too. Yeah, it's like I ordered something, off of an independent site or whatever, and it was even like, in the United States, and it took like 8 days, and I was like, what the fuck is taking so long? Like that's how spoiled we've gotten.
Yeah.
Like, or at least myself, like 8 days is like ridiculous, right?
Yep.
That's including a weekend. Like,
Have you heard about Amazon workers having to shit in bags and pee in buckets and shit like that?
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's a sacrifice. It seems like everybody's willing to take.
I mean, I had a friend that worked there in a like Pennsylvania or a different state, and he was thrilled with the job, like having the job, and like I was, mentioning the unfair work practices and some of the things, and he said he's gay, so like to be like able to make that amount of money and be accepted somewhere, like he's like I don't care. So
Wow. Is he a deliver? Like, does he deliver things?
no, he works in the warehouse.
Okay. So I heard that delivery drivers are the ones having to like pee in buckets and whatnot because, like for instance, like if you wanted to order something and they put it together for you, they figure out to a science how long it takes to do that in the warehouse, and then when you go to deliver it, you're timed, and if you don't make it in time, then like there's ramifications for it. And so it's now causing issues with delivery drivers not being able to go to the bathroom, or whatever. So they're having to pee in buckets and shit in bags and in their vehicles.
Man, now I feel bad for like the days when like my delivery is like it's delayed. It'll be there tomorrow. I'm like, these motherfuckers. Like, dude's like pissing in a bucket, and I'm like all mad because I didn't get it in 4 days. Like, but
makes you appreciate it a little bit more. Somebody had to suffer for it.
Right. As I open the box, like I can smell the suffering. I did hear though something about Amazon and creating a work town. Have you heard about that?
No.
Where basically they own everything in the town, and you work for them, and you live there, and you don't own nothing. You own nothing.
Screw that.
Everything you buy at the store is theirs. So like they're basically just taking their money back that they paid you.
No way.
And they're seriously discussing this, and they've had them before in history, and they did not go over well.
Yeah, that would not go over well.
No, like
where are they going to do this at?
I don't remember if I saw what state it was or if it said, but it was because what I saw was a rebuttal to it. Like this is what's happened before,
right?
Because the news channels are like praising them for doing this, and it's like no,
that's not a good thing. They create laws at that point. You have to follow their rules.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, what are you gonna do? You can't stand up for yourself at work.
Right.
You can't because you can't lose your job because then you lose your house.
Yeah.
Then you just like get banished from the town. Like it's sent off into the woods. Like what the. And like when it happened before, it turned out to just be like, I think it was out in like West Virginia, and it was basically like the workers and the police like fighting each other, and it was like. People died. Like it was bad.
Wow.
So
I wish I could look it up on here.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. I know that. So
yeah, that's a terrible idea.
Like who would want to go like spend like all your money on the company that you work for?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah. No, I work at, like I said, GM, and like people are like, why don't you live closer? And I'm like, I live close enough. Like I mean, it's a 20-minute drive.
Right.
I don't want to be any closer to that place because I just feel like anytime I get into like a proximity of that place, I'm like, I'm at work.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here.
I can smell it. It's horrible.
I'm sure you're like that. I mean, not really, but everywhere is work for you.
I mean, well, when I worked in the restaurant business, like it was, you'd end up at your restaurant, like if somebody else wanted to go there and you get a discount or something. So like, let's go to your restaurant. I'm like, God, like then I gotta talk to everybody. And now it's like I was thinking about that. I was actually talking about it the other day. Like I don't even like I've never said that I'm going to work since I've started this. Like I just go and do my thing, like. So
and that's what you want, right?
Yeah.
You want to be able to just go do your thing and not have it feel like work.
Right. Yeah, and it doesn't. Like I'm on the day. There's days obviously where it's like
it's work.
Yeah. But like when like my chain breaks for the third time and some other crap happens and but like a vast majority of the days I'm just riding a bike around,
right.
Stopping at random buildings and dropping shit off. So like it's just like I don't know. I don't consider it work.
That'd be cool. That would be really cool, especially like downtown area because there's typically like during the day there's things going on, people walking around, people to talk to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's always I always get like some interesting looks or like double takes and like I rode by this one guy. He was like sitting on one of the corners. And I rode by, and you could just hear him go, "Damn!" Like, because like I don't know, the bike's pretty red, and it's definitely noticeable.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, your bike is pretty noticeable. It looks futuristic, and you designed that yourself, didn't you?
Like the frame is the just a mountain bike that I ordered. But like everything else I put on, like the wheels and the handlebars and everything is what not stock.
Right.
So
I think I asked on the last podcast, but how often do you have to maintain it, and like how often do you have to put like chains and brake pads and all that stuff on it? I think you said you have disc brakes, right?
Yeah. Yep. Way more often than normal because like I'm going like 20, 25, 30 miles an hour. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the brakes are, you know, that long and like that wide, you know.
Right.
So, they're not going to last long. Um, and like it's, you know, I try to clean it like almost every day, at least, you know,
How do you clean it?
just with a damp towel.
Okay.
You
Just
don't,
wipe it down.
yeah, like if you use like a hose or something, you don't want to spray it because there's sensitive stuff that like even like you know the spraying of water could just move it like, and you're not like breaking it. You're just
Mm-hmm.
like if you just move things just a little bit, like it
Tweaks.
throws everything off.
Right.
So like that was a harsh like realization that like I I had to come to because like I don't know, man. It's a lot of work to learn how to work on a bike.
Yeah.
And YouTube's great, but like it's still, you know, it's you're watching a video. I don't retain all of that,
Right.
you know, until
You
I
just learn it as
do
you
it.
go. Yeah. Whenever it's needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have like a stronger chain on your bike?
Um, I've tried to like I've definitely ordered like different brands and stuff and tried to
Okay.
figure out what would be best because it's just like the motor like hooks on to the chain ring, which is what spins the chain. So like if I break my chain, I can't do anything except like go down a hill,
Oh my
like
gosh.
coast down a hill, and then push it up the next hill and then coast down the next. Uh, so yeah, it's with like the you know hub motors that are on the rear wheels, like that's you know that's great because even if it breaks, you can still pedal.
Right.
It's tough because the thing weighs a ton, but you can still move at least. When you break the chain on that, like yeah, you're just dead in the water. And
Do you carry an extra chain with you?
I usually have like pieces of a chain, you know, so like I can throw like extra links, and they have like what's called like a master link, which you know just puts the two ends together. It's really easy. You can put it together pretty much with your hands.
Mm.
But like one time I had one piece and it's two pieces.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like what is that?
What do you do in that case? Do you
I
call AAA?
Yeah, right. AAA. We need to start that for bicycles.
Yeah.
No, I push it home like wherever I gotta go. Like
Oh my gosh.
one time I was lucky enough to be like 3 blocks away from the bike store over by that river like LBC. So I just went in there and picked up a chain link. But yeah, I've definitely. There was a point when I first got the first hub motor on the back, and like I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even know how to put the damn pedals on. Or is take them off because there's a special tool you need to take them off
Right.
to like pop it out. And like I unscrewed the screw and like it looks like it should be coming out, and I'm like banging on the back of it with a hammer and shit like. And then I realized that I needed a special tool.
Oh my
like,
gosh.
well, that was a good learning experience. But like I had like the power was going to the display, like it was working, but like the wheel just wouldn't spin. It just wouldn't go, and I couldn't figure out why for a while. Like and I was like pushing this and pedaling, and I'm like I paid way too much money to be doing this shit. Like way too much money to be pushing and pedaling this bike around town. And then I figured out what it was. Like I had attached their brakes that they send with the system, but I didn't have them set up because they were mechanical brakes and mine are hydraulic.
Oh.
Or no, I had one of them and the other one was like I don't know. It was one like I figured out that if I just took the brakes off and just didn't have them attached, it would work. So like you can ride it around with no brakes apparently. That's cool, but like you can't have one plugged in, you know, because that screws everything up. So I ended up just leaving my original brakes on there, which is what I wanted to do anyways. And then it worked again. So,
Wow.
and then it died again.
Now I seen a picture you had posted on Facebook of where it all started, and it was just like a road bike,
Yeah.
and you were delivering with that thing.
I was going to. I didn't end up. So that was definitely the plan because that was a bike that I owned at the time, and that's how it got the name Red Bike Delivery because it was red as well. And so I was talking with Goodfellas about doing some deliveries for them, and they had this little event set up where they were taking their bagels over to that distillery or whatever it is right there on Cedar.
Okay.
I believe I can't remember. It's like faces the stadium.
Yep.
I can't think of the name of it
Across
right now.
from LBC.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And so like people could order their bagels while they were having drinks there, and then we would bring them over, and then so like he was gonna use me to do that, and I'd have my bike and stuff like that, and then I had a flat tire and my pedal fell off like at the same time. So I was just like walking down the alley like taking bagels over there, like no bike, no. It was like the worst promotion ever.
Oh my god!
At least for me, it was. The bagels went over great, but like I didn't have anything to do with that. So.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So, do you have to have like a special fund for like repairs or anything like that?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I recently had a discussion with some people that know way more than I do about a lot of things, business being one of them. And, like those are I love having those conversations because like, number one, it just shows you like how much you need to know and like right. What there is out there. And like, but it, and that there's people out there that are willing to help you too. So, like, yeah, I haven't even taken into consideration the fact that like I do all this work on the bike, I don't pay myself for it. And eventually like I'm going to have to pay somebody else to do it because if there's, multiple bikes, I can't work on all of them. Especially considering it takes me like 3 times as long to do something as somebody who knows what they're doing.
Right.
But and that'll get better because it used to take 5 times as long. So 3 times is definitely way better. But yeah, it's I have to take all that into consideration that I didn't even think about. Like, I think about labor and stuff like that with employees, but like not like the upkeep and like ordering new brakes, putting on new brakes, all that kind of stuff. So I recently by yesterday learned how to like make spreadsheets.
Oh.
Like so I'm putting everything in now, and like I can keep track of it, and like it's amazing what those things can do.
Organization.
Yeah, for real. Because like before it was like, so I have notebooks all over the place, right?
Right.
Like I write in them and stuff, and so I know I have paper and pen and like pen all the time. But like I'll just put notes on like a random page of a random journal, and then like expect to remember where it is. Like, where's that phone number? Like just going through like 4 notebooks.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah,
and then it'll be written like 3 times somewhere because I couldn't find it, so I wrote it some other random place. I was trying to get better like with my phone and putting notes in there. I have a little like Google Note folder.
Yeah.
Which is great, but like it's it's just getting familiar with it and remembering like
to use it.
Yeah, and like even when I use it, like remembering that it's there. Then like
Yeah, I started using a Google Calendar for the podcast, and it's helped tremendously because I actually a few weeks back I had to cancel a bunch of podcasts because my whole family got sick.
Oh.
And so I canceled all of them, and then I thought I canceled one, and apparently I didn't. And I didn't put that one in my calendar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I need to be more organized.
Yeah, the calendar is great. I just don't like why is the default a 10-minute warning? Like, give me an hour at least.
I think you can change it.
Oh, I always just add a new one.
Oh.
I guess I could probably change the default. See, I need to have these conversations so I can learn these things.
I think I changed mine to a half hour before.
Okay, yeah. I usually leave the 10-minute one on and then set like an hour one too, so I know. And I think I have one set for like the day before too, like 24 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Like I'm not missing stuff, man. I went through a phase like where I was like I like remember like one time someone's like, "Hey, I'm at Strange Matter. Where you at?" And I'm like, I don't even have pants on right now. I'll be right there though.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was like yeah, and then I was like I got to do something about this cuz like I said, I never had to worry about it before. So
Right.
I thought, yeah, I can just remember these things,
No, you
right?
can't.
Like no.
You get so much going on, and it makes it difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll remember it, but it'll be 3 hours after it
Right.
took place.
Right.
Like or like just long enough that like I can't go cuz it's too late and like
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So, much easier just to put it in the calendar.
That's hilarious. Is there anything you want to talk about? Anything? Ooh, I just bumped the camera. Anything else you want to talk about? The business? Oh yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you have any plans to add to the fleet or to add a fleet?
um, yeah, that's once I get past like that 5 restaurant like mark, it's gonna be help is going to be needed. So I have like 3 or 4 frames that are red that I need to. It's hard to like figure out what parts, like what year the frame is from and stuff like that. So like what parts go into it because some of them don't even have serial numbers and stuff
Right.
like that, and like I have this Specialized frame, which is like a really nice brand, a bike, and like they make some really good stuff. I think they had a pair of mountain biking shoes that were red, and they're so dope, but they were like $400.
Holy cow.
Yeah, dude. They're like, yeah, I'll give you the New Balance. Spray paint them red. but like, so like, it's a really good. It's a good frame. It's sturdy. It's thick. And like, but like, I have no idea what size of like the tube that goes down in the fork and stuff like that, and just things like that because like I'm also not like ordering all these parts brand new. Like I'm like
Right.
scavenging
Right.
for them, at like the co-op and stuff like that. So so that makes it like really difficult.
Right. Have you looked into getting sponsors to help with these things, like local sponsors, like maybe local bike shops or anything like that?
I've thought about it. I don't know why I haven't done that
You
yet.
should.
I know, cause like, and that's, I think maybe, cause I was gonna advertise for them, or
Yeah.
do something.
You could even put maybe a red bike delivery sticker in their window or something.
Right.
They might let you.
Yeah, there's one in Sultan's door.
Cool.
He's like, oh, I see you put your sticker in my door. It's like, oh yeah, about that, like.
Hope you're all right with it.
Well, there's a delivery.com on there, so I figured it was fair game.
Just stick it right over that.
Yeah, right. And then I talked to the guy because like Jalapenos is right next to
Okay.
Sultan's there, and they do their own deliveries. The owner does, and we were both like walking back into the restaurants the other day, and he's like, "Man, I'm getting too old for this shit." And I was like, "Here's my card. Like, whenever you want to talk, give me a call." So that'd be cool. Like if I had like both of them right there.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I could definitely, do like, both restaurants at the same time.
Right. Now, do you hang out down kind of by where you deliver most of the time, like, or do you just go home until you have an order?
So usually Sultan's calls around 11, between 11 and 11:30 is when I'll usually hear from them. If I don't, then I'm pretty clear, but like sometimes they close at 2, so like not much, and not they don't do much after like the lunch rush. So
Okay.
but I'm still, I could still get a call, but and then like once I get down there, yeah, I'll hang out for a little bit, like but if nothing happens by like 12:30, then I usually roll back home, and I don't typically get called back up. So
Okay.
so yeah, it's quick and it's short and it's sweet and it's done.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep.
So how long are we? An hour and 13 minutes in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it.
I was thinking you should go for you should do like a marathon. Like,
Oh my god.
have you ever seen the movie Digstown?
No.
It's like a '90s movie with James Woods and there's some other big actors in there, but he's a con man, and they set up like this boxing match where like one guy is gonna fight like
Oh
12 people or something, like one an hour basically, and he's gonna win, and and it's it just made me think of that because I don't know, I have no idea because I've seen that movie way too many times.
I thought about doing like a virtual, like a bunch of virtual podcasts, like in an evening, like I thought about like maybe just 20-minute interviews, like to see how well my interviewing skills are. Like just ask a bunch of questions, like just to normal people to, see, just so people can kind of know who they are. I thought about doing that, but then I'd have to line it up and it would take a lot of time, so.
Yeah, and you'd have to like count on everybody being there.
Yeah.
Like I really wanted to do a 24-hour marathon like show. Like telethon style,
Okay.
right? So people call in and donate, and like you have like guests, and it's not all performances. Some of it's people talking or whatever. But I really wanted to do that, and like when the pandemic started, that's like when I wanted to do a virtual one because people could log in whenever they wanted to, and like you didn't have to go to a place. And I just couldn't get enough people together. Like I just couldn't and like sometimes I'd be working with other people on it, and they'd be like, "Well, let's just do 6," and I'm like, "Man, 6? Like I did 6 myself." Like, so like the first one I did, I think was between like 6 and 7 hours.
Wow.
That I hosted.
What did you do?
I had a body painter. I had a guy that like does glass blowing.
Oh wow!
I had some poets and musicians and stuff like that. And then, God, I wanted to get like a science teacher or something too to like do some experiments on it, but my buddy wasn't into it. So, but yeah, it was basically just gonna be like unique acts, but still like entertaining and stuff like that. And then like 3 people didn't show up, so I had to kill a lot of time because I'm like, I got someone scheduled in 2 hours.
Oh my gosh!
And I only have so many poems,
How did you set? Was it virtual or was it in person?
It was Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That would be difficult.
I think I might have played the theremin for a little bit on that one. Have you ever seen a theremin?
No.
Oh my God, it's the coolest instrument ever. It's the only instrument that you play without touching it. So like it's got 2 like antennas, right? Like one goes up and then there's one down here. And this controls the pitch and this controls the volume.
Okay.
So it's by proximity though. Like so like you can play a scale, but like you have to stop at like all the right points to hit those notes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you watch some videos on it like
I'll
when
have
you
to
get
do
a chance.
that.
It's like it's the craziest. It was really big in like the 60s, I believe, like with sci-fi movies because it makes like crazy sounds.
Right.
And then it's kind of had a reemergence a little bit, but
like everything else.
Yeah, right. Right. You can actually rent them at the or check them out at the library.
Really?
That's how I found out about it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you go to the library often?
Just for that, or like if I had to print something,
Okay.
It's always good for that. But yeah, I don't spend much time at the library. I probably should, but
who's got time for that?
I mean, that's what I got Google for, right?
Right.
Like, so.
Well, I mean, you can now like get access to a lot of the library's content on their apps.
Yes.
Like
yeah.
I don't know if you have Hoopla or there's another one. I can't remember the name of it. Let's see here. What was it? I don't even know where it's at.
I have to do that too. Like, where did I put? I got them all under categories.
Yep.
Sometimes there's random ones that just.
It's Libby. So there's Hoopla and Libby, and that's like the local. Like I think you just like log in with your library card, and then you can access anything from the library's content.
Oh, okay.
Like you can watch movies, you can listen to music, you can listen to audiobooks or read books. It's really cool. I like to do it when I'm at work. I listen to like podcasts and audiobooks. That's all I do.
Okay. Yeah, that would be. I tried the audiobook thing. I listened to one. It was that something about not giving a fuck. And it's,
Oh, is it like a inspirational self-help kind of book? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's got like
Yep.
the author's like Australian or something. He's got like this
Okay.
like kind of thick accent, and it was kind of cool to listen to. But like, yeah, like how to unfuck yourself or
Yeah.
something
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
Yeah. And that was my only experience with a audiobook, but it was definitely like I could do other things,
Mm-hmm.
like and multitask. So that was nice about it. But like, I tend to sometimes though like just hyper focus a little too much, and then like so like if I try to do two things at once, like my attention will go always on the wrong thing. Like let's pay attention to this way too much.
Well, I was listening to an expert, and I can't remember who it was, but they were saying that people shouldn't multitask. Like, even if you think you're good at it, you're
Hmm.
really not good at it. People should really just focus their attention to one thing and then move on to the next.
Okay, that seems like a good advice.
Because then you're just you're not putting all your effort into both things.
Mm,
You're just kind of doing it to the best of your ability while doing another thing.
sure. Yeah, that makes sense. I know that like our brains can't do two things at once, like,
Right.
but we can switch back and forth really, really fast.
Right.
So it
Right.
seems like we're doing two things at
Yeah.
once, but we're not.
Really not. No.
Yeah, it's the brain's a crazy thing too. So
Oh yeah.
that's I love TikTok and like the
Oh
the
my gosh.
science like TikTok. Like
Oh okay. Yep.
there's so like I've learned so much from that I swear to God, like things that I would never have thought I would ever know, like about outer space and the universe and like and animals and like just all kinds, like the content is like it's actually like one of the better, I think it's I don't know, I think it's the best like social media out there for like stuff like that because
Mm.
and like I've managed somehow to separate myself from the comments there too.
Yeah.
So like
Yep.
I don't ever like get like into any like arguments with people like I
Right.
would in Facebook. So yeah, it's
You get in arguments?
sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I think that like my point of view will actually change somebody else's, and like
Mm.
I know that it's not going to, but I'm like maybe this time like somebody will listen, and but like I don't even know if I have the right, maybe I'm wrong too. Who knows? I don't know, but like yeah, I've definitely gotten a lot better.
Yeah, I used to get involved in that too, but it's something that takes a lot of time, like especially if you get into an argument with somebody who's like has time to be on their phone.
Mm.
And I'm like, who has this amount of time? Like I work for a living. I don't got time to friggin' sit here and argue back and forth. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
I try not to get too involved.
Yeah, and then the next thing you know, they're in your inbox, and it's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you like? I had some guy like yelling at me because of people on the post. Like, I can't control them. What do you want me to do? Because his girlfriend got blocked or something.
Oh
she
my
got, no,
gosh.
she got like a weak ban. And he was coming at me about it. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man. That's beyond me. So
Yeah, I try not to get too involved because most of the things that people argue about on social media is typically like politics, right?
right,
That's like the big thing. And then people end up getting blocked for it, or people hate you for it, they unfollow you for it. So I'm just like,
right.
my beliefs, my whatever, it doesn't matter. Like people don't need to know my opinion on things.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, I might say something on the podcast, but
Yeah.
and if somebody wants to send me an evil message about what I say, then they can. I'll just ignore it.
Right. Just leave them on red. It's and it's like every there's so many sensitive subjects now too, like, and being like a business owner, like
Mm,
sometimes I really want to say something,
yeah,
but I can't
because it hurts your brand, right?
Yeah.
Essentially,
Yes. Yeah.
because then you're now painted as that person.
Right, and by somebody, like whatever side it is. If
Right,
you take a
yeah.
stance, like there's another side to that stance.
Right.
So it's you pick your battles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you have to.
Yeah, I even had like, so you remember when that Bernie meme was like huge,
Oh my gosh.
with him sitting in the chair, Like I had a picture of me like that was like kind of professionally done for a paper, and then someone put Bernie in there for me, and I had it on my website, and my buddy that does marketing is like, yeah, he's like, I love Bernie, but yeah, and I started thinking about it, and he's right, like I shouldn't
Yeah.
have stuff like that up there. So
But it's kind of funny.
it is.
It's funny.
Yeah.
That I don't. Yeah, I mean that's not really making a political statement.
Yeah.
because everybody knows what it's from.
Right.
It's just the inauguration, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and then so my Zoom background though is Bernie with Jay and Silent Bob. That one's great. I love it. Oh, it's so stupid. Anything's better than trying to guess what color something is, though.
That's true.
It's purple. It's gold. Like, it's crazy how those things manipulate your mind.
Yeah.
Like the ones that you hear too. Like, they've been doing that. I've seen like ones where it's like they'll put 5 words on the screen, right? And you can only hear the word that you're looking at, but they're like completely different words. But you can hear them like when you're like, it's bizarre.
That is bizarre.
Our brains are, like I said, man, it's crazy up there.
Sure is. I'd like to know more about it.
Yeah, right. Someday.
So is there anything else you want to talk about while we're on here? We're an hour and 24 minutes in. I got to leave soon to go get my daughter from school.
Oh, yeah. She can walk. No, I think we covered a good amount of content.
Yeah. So when are you? You said it within the next few weeks they're going to do that poetry thing on the sidewalks, right?
I'm hoping so. Like I've been busting my ass trying to figure everything out. So yeah, I hope so.
Where are they going to do this at? Do you know?
No, like I suggested like the 4 corners where the roundabout is, like right on Michigan and Washington. So that might be an option, or it's gonna be like basically just kind of random spots. So you're like you're just walking and like, oh hey, here's a poem. I think it would be more efficient if it was like a destination.
Right.
But we'll see.
Right.
I don't make the calls on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have to work with the city of Lansing, right, in order to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure they play some part in like the decision making. So
right.
Bureaucracy.
Damn politics.
Man, they're everywhere.
All right, man. Well, it's been fun. If people want to get a hold of you, they can go to your social media. You don't have a website yet. It's under construction.
Correct.
There's no app yet, but hopefully somebody in the community will step up and help design that.
Wink, wink. You out there.
If there's local sponsors that want to sponsor maybe like repair parts or even just sponsor your business, right? I'm sure you'd be willing to talk.
Oh, absolutely. I actually, so last Valentine's Day I did like this special where I did like a dessert, a rose and like a handwritten poem, and then delivered it to him. And I approached Jay Anthony, the flower shop downtown on Michigan there, and asked them if they would be willing to donate the roses that I needed, and I would advertise for them, like put their cards in with every order that I had and stuff like that, and take care of them on social media. And I made a post on Google, like review, and it's gotten over like 1,000 views. Wow! So like I think like all my pictures and stuff have accumulated well over like 10,000 views. Wow. So like people pay attention to like my Google for some reason. I don't know why. Like I started just like posting pictures of downtown after the riot when we were cleaning up, and they blew up like 4,000 like views, and like I didn't even know that was possible.
Right.
Like, I just like made a like thing, and Google will automatically attach photos that were taken in that area. Yeah. And that's kind of what happened and started it. And now I have like people that like follow that shit. So.
Well, I think also when somebody orders food or before they order food and they hear about the red bike delivery, they're going to be like, "What is this? Like, does he have good reviews?
Yeah.
I want to see what the reviews are, because is my food going to be cold when he gets here?"
Yeah. Right. Nope.
Nope.
No, definitely not cold. But yeah, it's so like like that's something I can offer, people for their time or money or whatever is some definite exposure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if if my podcast could sponsor your business, I totally would do it. Because that would be great exposure too. You know, like I thought about like maybe sponsoring a part on your bike or something, like if you needed like new brakes or something, but I got to form it as a business and whatnot. So
Yeah, we'll get that LLC in.
yeah. All right, man. Well, again, social media, Red Bike Delivery.
Yep, on all platforms.
On all platforms. There you have it.
That's it.
That's it. Thank you for being here.
Peace out.